Hey, so I don't know. It's been quite a while since I've done this. Wanted to put, and I'm alone, which is press the camera. I need to turn that mic. Okay, so start with this of the grid. Are this okay? Now, so ready? So I am a super fan of the Pick up Phoenix does every single planet that they like Ace Attorney, not because they think it's wrong. Not. Clear that he's not. I wonder if I'm actually. Because this is the first time that I'm using this. Oh. Kinda shuts off. Hola, hola. Oh my god, I really have to get close to it to stick. It drills off? Off? Oh, it has certain filter. Hello, hello. Okay, what is this? Noise gate. That's a noise gate. That's a... Okay, let's try it again. Okay, let's try it again. Can I be heard? Hello? Can I be heard? Hello? Oh, perfect! This microphone is better, I guess. This microphone is better, I guess. Okay, I can mute this now, and I believe that I can actually be heard now. So for the time being, let's just screen into the game, and let's get into it. So, oh, that's right. I forgot that I had this cutscene, this window specifically for this. Oh, what?
Standing here in the bright sunshine, looking out over the vast ocean, those days in London seem like a dream. But I do miss my time in England's vast capital. You know, he's flourished into a truly wonderful lawyer. I I've no doubt that at this very moment, he's fighting some noble cause in court.
He's gonna be just sleeping in a bed. Especially because at the time it would be night.
Forgive me for taking so long to come to visit you. My life has been such a whirlwind since I returned. And no one could have predicted what has happened. Just 2 months after arriving home.
I find myself faced with another awful crime. Giselle Brett, huh?
So I came here today to ask something of you. Tomorrow, I shall be standing in court. For the only time in my life. As a lawyer.
Susato? What are you doing, Susato? Oh my god! I already knew
So
that she was the first victim.
I ask for your guidance.
The thing about this is that the first time that I tried to play this...
Kazuma-sama.
Oh, that's right. I shouldn't interrupt this. So the thing about this is that the first time that I tried to play this, I had a lot of interruptions over here that didn't leave me satisfied with where I was going. I actually know what happens over here pretty much until the first, what was the word? Interruption, let's say. Place to save. So, everything from after that, it's going to be blind. But right now I know the first, I don't know, third, fourth of the trial. And that is what I want to do in just one second. As usual, I'll be trying to make my voices. They're not the best. I'm not voice actor. I wish I would. Maybe I should take one of those courses. But for now, let's go. I just remember why I had the noise suppression gauge. Give me a second. I'm gonna add a small filter. Nah, better not. If I see that something is weird, I'll make it better. But for now, let's go. August 13. Here I am again, after 9 months, the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Wow, it's been a while since I've said that. I'm gonna need a drink. Give me a second. Much better. I feel so nervous, but I must still my nerves and find a way to compose myself. Oh, good, you're here. It doesn't do for a lawyer to be late. Oh, yes, good morning, sir. I hardly recognize you. You're a fine figure, counsel. But you look as white as a sheet, and those white eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Oh dear. The truth is, I'm so incredibly nervous. I feel utterly nauseated. I almost wish that I'd never been born. So, the main character that is speaking right now is Susato Mikotoba, and this is her father, which is the Professor Mikotoba. I kind of forgot his first name. Yujin Mikotoba. Wait, really? Well, I just remember they actually called him the first time just Professor Mikotoba. So that's the reason why I didn't remember the first name. Goodness, not the sort of thing a father hopes to hear from his daughter, I must say. Oh, thank you, Sato. Making the introduction from me. Professor of Medicine at the Imperial Jume University. A man who earlier in his life traveled to Great Britain to study the latest advances in forensic medical science. And of course, my brilliant father. Oh, right. She was a woman. Excuse me? Would I be correct in thinking that you're to be my lawyer in court today? Yes! Yes, that's right, miss! Well, I want to thank you for agreeing to represent me. I swear on my life. Oh my god, I shouldn't make those kind of voice. It's a complete fabrication! The whole thing! This whole thing! Raymond Mami, born the same year as I and my greatest friend. Though unusual for a woman in her time, she works at the university research laboratory helping my father. And sadly, she's the defendant in today's trial, accused of committing a truly awful murder. Whoa, what's with my accent today? Are you feeling alright? Since we started talking, you seem, well, to have become a little flushed. Oh my, it's just that you look so gallant and dashing. Wait, what? Sorry? And when I fall under your intense gaze, it makes me feel rather bashful. Goodness, I don't think she knows. She hasn't realized who I am. It would seem our little plan for this trial is going to work. Oh! What do you mean, Professor Mikoto? If even your best friend can see through the disguise, I think we can relax. Disguise? Yes, I've never tried dressing this way before, of course, so I wasn't sure how convincing it would be. But this does make me feel a little rebel, as you say, Father. Father? What? Is that you, Susato? I'm so sorry I didn't say something sooner, Ray. It's just that... No! What are you doing? What's going on? What? That varsity uniform, that varsity cap, that varsity cape, that varsity badge. Look at you! You look all the world just like a student of the Imperial Jume University. A male student, that is. I'm so glad you think so. It means all my preparations have been worthwhile. I woke up this morning to make a start. But I don't understand. Why are you dressed like that? Well, you see... It was the only way. The only way she would be permitted into the Supreme Court to take on your defense in this trial. My defense? Never before in my life have I been so frustrated at having been born into this body. Courts in Japan are barred to women. We're not even allowed to set foot inside the courtroom, despite the fact that the laws of the land apply to all people, male and female alike. Sexism exists, and thank God that it's not like that anymore. Thinking about this, I'm really happy that Mia Fey was permitted to be a lawyer. But then again, this is supposed to be in the Meiji era, so it makes sense. But women are forbidden. Just for today, I'll be leaving my true self at the courtroom door, so that I can act as your lawyer. Oh, Susato, you'd go to such lengths for me? Of course, you're my greatest friend. I just worry that I shan't be the lawyer you deserve. Oh, no. I have complete faith in you, Ray. It's so strange, though. I mean, you're such an accomplished judicial assistant already. And yet, just because you're a woman. What a rich reason! I mean, why shouldn't you be allowed in court? You're so gallant and dashing. I had the feeling that Ray is discovering a part of herself today that she wasn't aware of. Ray? Please don't look at me like that with those flushed cheeks and doting eyes. Oh, sorry, it's just... Oh god, I forgot to polish this somewhere else. Okay, so yeah, that's the address. So I need to go... I should have thought of this before. No. I tried to do everything and I still keep struggling on getting this thing ready. I haven't done a stream in quite a while. Guess not used to it anymore. There it is. She's really discovering a part of herself that she wasn't aware of. There it is. Instantly. Wait, did it work? There it is. Okay, let's go back. So as I was saying, I'm sorry. It's just you really look so dashing. Just in case, I'm gonna leave this one over here and actually no. There. There it is. Okay. Okay, sorry for that one. Let's go. Yes, you mentioned that once or twice. You should be pleased. It means you look convincing as a man. I am pleased, I think. It certainly helped to bolster my confidence today. Ray, you're managing to put a brave face in all this, but I can see right through it. I've noticed how your shoulders are slumped and how you're trembling ever so slightly. I need to keep a monitor on those ones. Perfect. Susato, you do believe me, don't you? I didn't do it. I couldn't have. I mean, murder? Of course. You have nothing to worry about. Your conscience is perfectly clean. Isn't that right? Yes. Yes, it is. Perfectly clean. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind about your innocence. Which is why I'll stand until the bitter end in this trial. Whatever happens, I'll always be by your side. Because that's what it means to be a defense lawyer. That means so much to me, Susato.
Defendant, counsel. Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. You should go in at once, Ray.
I mean, yeah, that's what she said, Father.
If you're late, Judge won't hesitate to pronounce you guilty.
Oh! Stand aside! She went in running? I don't think I've ever seen her run so fast.
Well, Susato, you've certainly surprised your father. Going to such lengths to be admitted into the courtroom, and with no prior experience of being a lawyer.
There was simply no other way. That's all there is to it. But Father... is it still recording? I have to keep checking because I'm so nervous about this. Oh boy, wait, I just realized something over there. Yeah, I know, but I'm not using that. That's the one that I'm using. I'm keeping this one over here because I want to monitor my streaming. There it is. But Father, you haven't told her, have you? I mean, I'm right in assuming that Ray doesn't know how it came to be?
Yes, quite right. I've kept that information from her. It would only worry her if she found out that no other lawyer would agree to take her case. I didn't want to burden her with that.
And is it true? The reason why every other lawyer is refusing to take the case? Is it really because of who the victim was?
We should be making a move now, too. As you know, law is in my field. But I'll do what I can to support my student.
Thank you, Father. I'm Susato Mikotora, a judicial assistant. 8 months ago, I accompanied a student of law on a study trip to the Great Britain.
Not bad.
But 2 months ago, due to unforeseen circumstances, I found myself back in Japan. How many times have I wished that he were here? I wonder. Still, I have no now but to steel myself for the trial ahead. Wish me luck, Naruhodo-san. It's getting good. Immediately gets into set. Here we go.
This court is now in session to hear the trial of Raymond Bunny.
The prosecution is fully ready to proceed, Your Excellency.
Oh boy, this hairstyle.
Defense counsel, are you ready? Yes, you're right. Just Your Excellency. We are ready.
Ready!
Oh, yes, counsel. According to your registration details, your name is, Ryutaro Naruhodo. Is that correct?
Sorry?
Oh, yes, I had to come up with a suitable male name for you for this little venture. So I'm afraid to say simply I put down the first name that sprung to mind.
Ryutaro. I have the feeling that that everything that just ends in Taro is just very, very simple. I'm not exactly so sure, but I have to seem to remember that Taro is just a generic way of ending a male name. Whoa! Shouldn't have drunk so much Pepsi. Sorry, guys.
Well, counsel?
Yes, that's right, that's me! Wow, this even vibrant when she reacted to this. I did a what? I mean... Yes, I am Ryutaro, he who has vowed to uphold the pride of the great Naruhodo clan.
It seems Ryutaro may need to consider how better to uphold his manly at first and not overdo it. And those wild white eyes aren't doing you any favors either. Just relax and listen.
Naruhodo?
A fresh face in this courtroom, if I'm not mistaken. But the name Naruhodo, would that per chance be...
You may be thinking of Ryunosuke Naruhodo, currently in Britain as part of a study program. This is,
His cousin!
That's right. Ryutaro here has been studying in the provinces, but was called to the capital for this trial. I assure you, in matters of law, his knowledge rivals that of any of Tokyo's preeminent lawyers.
Any of them!
What a pitiful situation. You know, making this voice is very funny. Having been rejected by every lawyer in the capital, the accused has had to call in a country boy.
How dare you! Susanto's every bit as talented as any of her Tokyo's attorneys. I will have you making fun of her!
Here?
Please be careful, Ray.
What an unrefined tomboy we have here. But I wonder, is your gallant and dashing lawyer up to the challenge of defending you? His wide, skittish eyes very much suggest that he is not.
I'm so nervous. Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand what Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, eyes are wont to flint.
Want to flit? I don't remember what that means, to be quite honest. The case to be heard on this day is a matter of great significance to our national interests. In fact, it would be reasonable to assume that the outcome of this trial may well affect the very future of our empire.
Just like the trial 9 months ago. And yet, for proceedings of such importance, we have this annoying jokel by the dock? Dear me.
Perhaps this would be an appropriate moment for me to assess the defense, to determine whether you are sufficiently competent to practice in this courtroom. 9 months ago, when a certain other Naruhodo stood where you're standing now.
The hand stretch and everything.
This same judge tested him as well. And even though he was just a student at the time, not even of law, he passed the student with flying colors. For a trained and experienced judicial assistant like you, this will be easy. So, counsel, do you consent to answer some simple questions?
Alright, it's time to prove myself. Yes, Your Excellency, but please don't make them simple.
Very well. To start with, you will state the name of the victim.
Well, that is simple. I couldn't forget that if I tried.
What's the matter?
Now that I'm standing in his shoes, I'm starting to understand something else Naruhodo-san goes through. Like it or not, minds are one to flank.
It's not surprising, really. It's your first time in this position, and in that case, even a bright spark like you is bound to flicker and falter a little under the circumstances.
Oh dear, this is a dismal failure.
Don't fret. You need only to use the knowledge you gain as a judicial assistant to overcome the problem.
Of course, the court record.
Yes, the answer will be amongst all the key information about the case in the court record. That's right, just use R to open the court record. Then you need to flip to the people section with R. And don't take too long over it. His Excellency is watching you closely.
Alright, check court record with R. That's where the information I need will be. There it is, the court record, finally. So... people. Yujin Mikotoba, the father, an authority in forensic medicine in charge of blah blah blah. Rimembami, 16 years old, best friend of Susato, an assistant to his father, to Yujin in the laboratory at Yumin University. This racist B, who, B for British, yeah, sure. She was found guilty of murdering Dr. John Wilson. Remember, this game actually uses the characters of Sherlock Holmes and John Watson. Watson, yeah. but they changed him as they did in the Sherlock Holmes versus Arsène Lupin, so that they don't have the Holmes authorities behind them. And Taketsuchi Auchi, the prosecutor and pretty much the ancestor of Winston Payne and Gasping Payne. And yep, as usual, he is very annoying.
I'm waiting, counsel. What is the name of the victim in this case?
And it's clearly Giselle Brett.
Yes!
She acts the same way. The name of the victim who lost her life in this case is Miss Giselle Brett. Giselle Brett.
A name that will never be forgotten in this courtroom of our country, I'm sure. Correct. And being a member of our empire's judiciary, you will be well aware of the significance of that name. So, let me pose another simple question. As you know, Miss Brett was a visiting student from the Empire of Great Britain. Why then is her name indelibly associated with our empire's judicial history? Obviously, you won't have forgotten that case from 9 months ago. But if it's proving hard to recall their finer points, everything you need is included in the court record.
Obviously, I still remember. That was the start of everything. Giselle Brett, behind the woman student persona, was the face of a murderer.
Yes!
9 months ago, a visiting professor of medicine at the Imperial Jumei University was killed, and the culprit was Giselle Brett.
Yes, she was a killer. At the time, our country had just signed a new treaty with the Empire of Great Britain, and it was in the midst of this delicate diplomatic situation that the incident occurred. An Englishman, Dr. John H. Wilson, was shot dead.
You can tell that the name is pretty much just Watson, but Wilson.
I believe he was an associate of yours, Professor Mikotowa.
Oh, it was a judge?
Yes, I was indebted to that man. He'd been my mentor when I went to London to study forensic medicine. Indeed, it was I who invited him here to Japan as a visiting professor at the university. Naturally, the murder of an Englishman on our soil was a matter the government wished to resolve rapidly. Indeed it was, which is why a secret trial was conducted here at the Supreme Court. I need to try and make it more noticeable that I'm speaking as the judge and not as the professor. A student of Imperial Jumei University was arrested on suspicion of murder. A second-year English language student by the name of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh boy, with the help of his best friend, a studied lawyer, the accused conducted his own defense and exposed the despicable crime committed by Miss Giselle Brett. Miss Brett eventually admitted to her crime. However, when questioned about the motive that drove her to take with Dr. Wilson's life, she gave no satisfactory answer before the trial reached its conclusion.
Immediately after the trial, the British government brought its consular jurisdiction into play. We were unable to sentence Miss Brett according to our empire's laws. It was decided that she would be removed to Shanghai, China instead.
Why Shanghai?
There's a British consular court there. Correct. I oversaw the negotiations personally. The date of her transfer to Shanghai was finally settled upon only last week. All that remained of her empire's obligation was to see the woman safely on board the steamship.
And then, the very day before her departure, the Englishwoman was killed.
Only the day before? Interesting. It's like they didn't want her to escape.
That will do. I'm satisfied with the counsel for the defense I'm satisfied that the Council for the Defense is sufficiently capable of representing the defendant.
That is difficult to say. Oh. Thank you, Your Excellency. Over the first hurdle.
Now, a summary of the incident, if you please. Prosecutor Auchi.
Assist your wish, Your Excellency. The repugnant crime took place in the 11th August in broad daylight.
Daylight?
And the outskirts of the imperial capital under a bright blue sky at a secluded bathing spot by the sea. The incident occurred at a small beach hut erected for bathers to rest or change their clothes.
I love the music of the game, by the way. This is... I love the music of pretty much every Ace Attorney. The only one that I think it's weak is Ace Attorney 2, and they still managed to introduce the music for... in Farewell My Turnabout, which is the last case of that game. But pretty much is the only game that I think has a weak soundtrack. However, the Ace Attorney music as a whole has always been insanely good. Even in the crossover, which I mean not the Project Zone. In this case, of course, I don't mean also Marvel. I'm trying to say Professor Layton. Professor Layton. Yeah.
The case of death was a single stab wound to the posterior abdomen that pierced the victim's lung. An injury which proved fatal. There were two persons alone together in the beach hut at the time of the victim's death. Miss Brett in her bathing attire, and the accused, Raymond Bammy. Accordingly, there can be no doubt.
Oh god.
There can be no doubt of the accused's guilt, especially when considered she had a powerful motive.
She did?
The police arrived rapidly at the scene, promptly arrested the young lady.
Well, that extraordinary description of events leaves me somewhat lost for words, I must say. That's certainly true. The Persecutor's summary was full of words that raised an awful lot of questions. As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the Prosecutor Counsel on what he said about. You're clearly exaggerating. Powerful motive is a blatant overstatement.
Is the joke boy using long words he doesn't fully understand?
I beg your pardon?
No matter. Let us put this to the accused, shall we? Membami-san, you are a research assistant at the Imperial Yume University, I believe.
Yes, I am. I'm working with Professor Mikotawa in his laboratory at the moment. I can confirm that. The defendant is an excellent assistant with a strong sense of responsibility. Ace Attorney. Añadir etiqueta. There it is.
Fascinating to hear.
Wait, hey, that's Zentere! How you doing, man? Ooh, got an objection from you. Oh, I should move it a bit down. I just realized that it's below everything. Thank you very much, man. I actually like the fact that you guys are actually supporting me, especially because this is actually my first time in quite a while doing this. Oops, I shouldn't have moved this over there. Okay. Let's keep going.
Fascinating to hear. Now, another question. Prior to your work with Professor Mikatara, whose research were you assisting in?
I was studying under Dr. John H. Wilson.
Dr. Wilson? That visiting English professor who was murdered by Miss Brett 9 months ago?
The accused had a deep-seated respect for her former mentor, Dr. Wilson. Is that not true?
Yes, Dr. Wilson was a wonderful man.
Interesting. Then tell the court what deep-seated feelings you had towards the Englishwoman who killed him.
Well, obviously I was filled with hatred for what she'd done. A powerful hatred. Oh no, Ray! Be careful of what you're saying.
The motive was revenge. Plain and simple, Your Excellency.
Well, it was clearly a trap all along. How wicked of him.
How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against How wicked of him to use Ray's undying respect for her former mentor against her like that. I must find out more details, and something we can use to bolster our defense.
I wonder if I can get one of those filters for mind thinking. I'm gonna be looking for that one.
As a lawyer, I really ought to pick up the prosecution on what he said about being alone together. Membami-san? Yes? What is it? Naruto-san! I'm really starting to wish he'd made my alias Ryutaro Susato. Please tell the court why exactly you were present at the bathing spot with the victim in the first place. And why you were alone with her. Well, no, that's not true. It wasn't like that at all. I mean,
I know that this is not the point, but I just realized that maybe Susato just got made fake being Latino and have more than 3 or 4 names at this point. That would be less suspicious than just being called Susato all the time.
There were other people present. A detective who was guarding Miss Brett, for starters. I was just asked to accompany Miss Brett as a companion, that's all.
But let us be clear. At the moment of her death, you were alone together with the victim in the hut. And you and no one else. The truth is, there is only one reason why this young woman accompanied Miss Brett on her bathing sojourn. It was the useless chance to take the victim's life.
No!
Because as we know, the following day would see Miss Brett extradited to the British authorities in Shanghai. And the accused would never have an opportunity to dispatch her again.
Oh, right, now that I think about it.
Can't refrain from conjecture, counsel.
The prosecution counsel seems to enjoy using provocative tricks like that. But for now at least, we need to assemble more facts. Try not to let him indulge you.
Oh dear, this is really totally terrifying, but Father is right. We need more information. So now I'm gonna ask about the bathing spot. If I may, Prosecutor Ouchie.
What do you want, you fresh-faced young jockle student?
Whoa, he keeps adding more adjectives to his description of her. Or more like of him.
I wonder, could you explain it, please? You mentioned a bathing spot.
My apologies. Clearly my modernity has confused a poor country pumpkin simples.
Simple what?
Simple mind. Bathing spots are the very latest trend in health practices from the West. We are told that bathing in the water of the ocean is curative, therapeutic, and excellent for the skin's...
No, that's not what I meant. I was referring to the fact that Miss Brett had, to all intents and purposes, been found guilty of murder. So why would a known criminal have been relaxing by the sea?
They really are lapdogs for the British.
For all time's sake, I believe.
Sorry?
Miss Brett was to depart for Shanghai the following day. Her final wish, as it were, was to enjoy a day at her country's wonderful coast. And the British Embassy put extreme pressure on our government to comply.
But on what grounds would we agree to such a request? Because as usual, our government is unable to stand up to foreign powers. In matters of diplomacy, it seems we don't even have the courage to decline the whims of a known criminal.
Don't look at me, Professor! It was the government who granted permission, not I!
Yeah, in this case I'm not gonna hold it on ouchie. I was about to say pain.
In any case, it was decided that with a dedicated detective on duty, nothing could go wrong.
But in fact, a murder took place.
I said, don't look at me, it was that young student girl who did it, not I!
No one has proved that yet! I wouldn't provoke the man if you don't need to. I believe we all have a clear picture of the incident now. Despite her guilt being determined 9 months ago, Miss Brett managed to avoid incarceration, instead continuing her research work at the university as a free freaking annoyance. Obviously, over that period, she and Ray would have encountered each other on a number of occasions. Seeing the murder of her mentor for whom she had such great respect enjoying such undeserved liberty. Yes, even if it was only temporary until Miss Brett's extradition to Shanghai. You can hardly blame Ray for her feelings of anger and resentment. But Ray...
So, Your Excellency, if you'd be so kind as to peruse this exhibit... A photographic print that shows the scene of the crime immediately following the grim incident.
And there she is. Yes, thank you, Counsel. A tragic image.
As you can clearly see, there is nowhere within the hut that anyone else could have hidden.
That alarm, I wonder if the MiG picked that up. I hope it didn't.
The car will accept this photographic print as evidence.
The photograph of the cat... What is wrong with me? Did I just really try to make a narrator voice out of instinct? Okay.
As I understand it then, the victim and the defendant were alone inside the beach hut at the time. This is deeply troubling, I must say. The finger of guilt points firmly at the defendant.
Well, Your Excellency, naturally the prosecutor has much more to its case. We intend to prove the kid's appalling actions beyond all possible contention. To that end, I can confirm that we have multiple witnesses to the crime, and damning evidence.
Witnesses? But who?
One of whom, I might add, is a highly respected police detective.
Oh my god. I know who it is.
I assure you, the testimony of these witnesses will leave room to no doubt.
I can't believe that I might be acting the...
Very well, Counsel. Bring forward your witness.
And Taketsuchi Ouchi have been waiting for this moment.
Sorry?
Oh, yes, I haven't forgotten that trial 9 months ago, here in this very car house, when that irreverent little student boy utterly humiliated me. Renasuke Naruhodo!
What? Yes?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten.
You become conceited with age, Counsel, but they all have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. And so that's how he ended up getting this hairstyle. Well, at least you have that little poop on your forehead.
Strike the head of the samurai whose topknot has been cut, and the bell of uncultural and of culture. Strike the head of a samurai whose topknot has been cut, and the bell of cultural enlightenment tolls. Yes, on that fateful day, my former self died.
The start of your own mini Meiji revolution. Are you modernizing as well, Council?
Silence! Since I swore revenge back then, there has been a miracle out of my head. Observe the Archie growth!
Oh my god, he's actually talking about the poop.
This here is seed of hope sprouting forth from the barren space of my crown.
I think that tiny growth is trying to tell me something.
I'm afraid I can't really see you. Where is the help exactly?
I said silence! Today I face another Jotal student of the Naruhodo clan. Well, I will vanquish you. And my victory will fertilize for the seed of hope atop my head. You have been warned. With that, the prosecution calls the witnesses to the stand.
He's angry more than anything else. Just in case. It looks like the stakes are high on both sides of this trial. The prosecution and the defense each has much to lose.
A haircut is hardly comparable to Ray's life. Witnesses, please state your names and occupations for the court.
Chief Inspector Satoru Hosonaga, Imperial Police Bureau. I'm in disguise, obviously, so I can go and detect him.
And I am, well, the next big thing in books and all renowned throughout the capital, in fact. Yes! Some to be sold out! That's so critical! I am a god! A sensational success! By so second a turn!
Oh my goodness!
Struggling student from the provinces, please! You needn't be an awe of me.
I needn't?
God!
Natsume is here!
It's only natural, you'll feel nervous in my presence, but all of you, please relax. Call me Saseki, even.
Yes. What on earth is Saseki doing there?
Tread carefully, Susato. That other fellow knows you from your time in London, doesn't he? If he exposes you for who you really are, this will be over before it's begun.
Yes, of course I know. I presume Saseki-san won't have forgotten about me.
I could certainly never forget him.
Although he does seem to have changed somewhat in the 6 months or so that it's been since I last saw him.
Okay, so...
And as for Inspector Hosonaga, that outfit is, hard to believe.
Do I have something on my face?
Well, your glasses for one, although they don't seem to be helping you see. Thank goodness he hasn't recognized me either.
Oh, I suppose it's his disguise, is it? I thought that appearing here in the clothes I was wearing at the time would make for a more faithful testimony. It is my guiding principle to carry out all testimony flawlessly. Well, I can appreciate why an Imperial Police Bureau, my detective, might have been present. But what business did a writer such as yourself have been at the scene, Saseki-san?
Well, you see, I had been asked that day to give a lecture on the morning of the incident in the Imperial Jumei University Grand Lecture Hall, no less.
At Jumei University?
After the lecture, I had a very pleasant conversation with a researcher from the medical science department. The Professor over there, in fact.
With Professor Mikotoba?
Yes, that's right. It was arranged by one of the newspapers.
They wanted some story or other about two former students who stood in Great Britain.
Of course, being a renowned author, the press never leave me alone. The strictly spy snapshots, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy.
The reporter in the background is the best part.
As you can see, the conversation was written up in this newspaper here. Without your leisure, my provincial struggling student friend, I have plenty of copies.
Thank you very much. He practically threw that paper at me. My god, I just love the fact that he's as crazy as before. And his eyes, they are so weird. They've always been so weird in my eyes.
Anyway, following my interview with the professor, the lady in question appeared and made a very unexpected announcement. I should like to go with everyone to see your country's cause. Those were her words.
As I explained before, Miss Brett was never taken into custody. She continued to work in my laboratory under strict surveillance, of course.
At which Other State University immediately contacted the government to seek guidance. And the response was, permit Miss Brett to go as long as a detective accompanies her.
That detective I am at liberty to divulge was me, Chief Prosecutor Satoru Hasunaka.
Thereby, the entire party reported cordially for the season, it seems.
It was extremely challenging to clear all other members of the public from the vicinity of the beach. But fortunately, I am at peak physical fitness at the moment, so you're not bleeding anymore from the oh my god. I was able to carry out my duty flawlessly. Oh, my Inspector, you do have something on your face now. Ah, how unsightly. I do apologize. My god goes to the sea, he's gonna get eaten by sharks at this rate. Does that mean that you went to the beach too, Father? No. Fortunately, I had work to finish off. But unfortunately, of course, it meant that as my assistant, Ray was invited to take my place.
Of course, being a renowned author, I didn't like to decline the invitation. Oh, when if only I had to, I'd never have seen that awful sight! Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret.
Very well. I must ask now that you present your formal testimony to the court. You will give an account of all that you witnessed on your impromptu excursion to the coast. Of course, Your Excellency.
Relentlessly racked by remorse and regret I am.
Wait, that was Ouchie. On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise.
I just managed to catch that crowd when I suddenly heard a colored wall from behind me.
I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question.
And this is just a young girl was astride the Englishwoman Darkening Hunt as she stepped wildly.
Wait, that doesn't make sense, Soseki. I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she'd stabbed the victim multiple times. Indeed, it does appear from this testimony that both witnesses here present saw it. The very moment of this heinous crime.
What?
Now, if you will recall, I promised evidence as well. What phrase did I use again? I guess that was it. Damning evidence.
What have you there, Counsel? A so-called fountain pen, is it? Correct, Your Excellency. I found it at the scene whilst examining the body. It appears that in her dying moments, with her final ounce of strength, the victim clutched a piece of evidence that would positively identify her killer.
What?
Your Excellency, if you would cast your eyes over the photograph, bring to the scene of the crime scene once more.
Oh, goodness me! Oh, I didn't notice, to be honest. Yes, the victim is clearly grasping something quite deliberately in her hand. That's right, the fountain pen. And if you would kindly examine the pen, Your Excellency. Oh! The owner's initials have been engraved into the ebonite barrel. R.M. Raymond Bummy. Oh my god, it's gonna be someone else's, like always, is it not? It always happens. The initials of the defendant. No! Exactly same animations. Absolutely hilarious. This fountain pen will admit it immediately as critical evidence. The fountain pen has... God.
So, have I omitted anything? Decisive testimony and damning evidence. There's a bright blue sky outside the courthouse today. It's perfect weather to ascribe guilt, I feel.
I don't understand. The prosecutor Ouchie of 9 months ago had none of this man's voice. Counsel for the defense, you may begin your cross-examination now. Naruhodo-san! Naruhodo? That means... Oh, yes, me! Is there another Naruhodo in my courtroom? Actually, there isn't even a single Naruhodo in your courtroom. Cousin Rutaro, pull yourself together, please. Alright, I've seen this countless times as a judicial assistant. Find inconsistency in the witness testimony to prove that they're lying somehow. That's all there is to it. That's how a real lawyer would handle a cross-examination. So let's see what I can do. Here we go. On the day of the incident was ordered on a special surveillance assignment to disguise. Okay, let's press everything as I usually do.
Hold it!
In that jaunty disguise? Correct. Wait, no! I mean, it wasn't the first time I've sworn this sunset for the tip in the ocean. I'd tried and tested. Do what must be done to keep the Englishwoman under surveillance. Those were my orders that day. And this tried and tested outfit was the answer. Being able to blend flawlessly into a crowd is an important part of it. Blend. You think you're blending, my dude? I submerged myself in salty water, leaving only Mr. Oh my god, I love him. I love this idiot. I submerged myself in the salty water, leaving only Mr. Turtle floating inconspicuously on the surface. Is it maybe the turtle who's speaking? Mr. Turtle loves the water. God damn it. But there was no need for you to blend into the background in this assignment, really, was there? If that made you late arriving on the scene, I think perhaps you had your priorities wrong. Perhaps I shouldn't pursue this line of questioning further at the moment. He's gonna die. I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard the car walking behind me. Ah, you're describing the victim's scream, presumably, Soseki-san.
In more literary terms, you might say it was a scream that could have pierced the heavens.
Claw! Or the like. Of course, that's just a metaphor. We renowned authors are wont to describe things so. Soseki-san wasn't at all like this in England.
Anyway, I spun around at the noise and the beach hut immediately fell under my gaze.
Yes, the beach hut. Oops. The area is popular with government ministers. Many all have seaside retreats there for rest and recuperation. Locals are prohibited from entering the area, so it's always very quiet. The beach hut is a simpler structure, erected as a place for people to change or take refuge from the sun. I just realized how weird this is. This is a private area, and not a lot of people come in. The first time that somebody comes in, she comes with an assistant, an officer,
and she still manages to die immediately there. That is very interesting. Although the English... Oh, and this guy. Although the English woman commandeered the hut for herself, which meant that I was forced to change into my swimwear on the sand.
Ah, I imagine that was rather embarrassing for you.
Well, anyway, I tossed the grab aside and headed for the beach hut at a run. Or, in more literary terms, I did grab and bit aloft hot twice.
Yeah, no.
I ran into the beach hut at once, where I found the pair in question. Oops.
Hold it!
I reacted as if it was normal dialogue.
Wait, by pair, you don't mean to say... But how could that be?
No, you misunderstand. Obviously, I mean the victim and the defendant, Raymond Bamisan.
Oh. Yeah, it would have been helpful if you could have just said that from the outset.
If you jump to conclusions, you have to expect to fall flat on your face sometimes.
Dear me, hadn't your hopes in such an outside chance? Foolish, very foolish.
It really was an outside chance. I just wish I'd realized that before I said something silly.
So, Inspector, why don't you tell the court how exactly you found the information here in the hut?
Wow, all of these voices are very nasal for me. Well, it was a sorry side, except for stuff like this, which is more throaty. It was a sorry side, a really grisly scene. I parted the Norrin curtain hanging in the doorway and stepped inside, only to see the defendant leaning menacingly over the lifeless body of the victim sprawled on the sand. And he got agitated. My glasses very nearly cracked at the ominous sight that met my eyes.
How truly appalling!
He doesn't appear to be lying here. Well, Sasaki-san, could you confirm what the Inspector Kusanagi is saying, I wonder?
Ah, you'd like a literary man's opinion? Yes, the giant mom? Yeah, she's like stabbing White Lily.
Stab Wadley? You actually saw her do it?
Oh, indeed. The terrible spectre, the terrible inspector, the bloody torrent, the author's torment. Oh, right. That is what I wanted to say. This is the thing that I was thinking about. There's only one stab wound.
Every sight and every sound is still carved in my melancholy memory. That was my impression, at least, as a future literary sensation.
Oh my god, shut up, Soseki! I don't know if I prefer him like this, or as the completely gloomy man that he was in England.
Garcelle, what on earth was that shrill, effeminate scream?
No!
No! What are you? What are you insinuating? I am as manly a Japanese man as you!
I wonder if I might interject here, Sasaki-san? Something you said is troubling me. That was my impression? Well, yours was just now, I believe.
So do you mean to say you're not confident that you really did see what you described?
Oh my god, his paranoia is back.
No, yes, I know what I saw!
My ears didn't deceive me when I heard that scream, hence my eye didn't deceive me either. I could describe it as subtly. I could publish it in all tomorrow's newspaper serial.
It sounds as though the next installment of Famicom may take a macabre turn.
I think this is a false errand. The more we press your other friend on what he saw, the more entrenched he's going to become.
Oh dear, how awkward.
Oh. I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she'd stabbed the victim multiple times. This is a contradiction, I just want to hear it.
Hold it!
She was stabbed multiple times. How can you be so sure of that?
Very simple. From the blood on the blade.
The blood?
When I entered the hut, I saw the defendant holding the blade, raised up in the air.
Yes, that's right, I saw it too.
Oh! And I noted that there was blood on the blade already at that point. In other words, the victim had already been stabbed at least once by the time I arrived on the scene.
Yes, that's right, I saw it too.
And the victim was already holding the defendant's fountain pen in her hand too. All of which means I can be sure the victim did not die instantly.
Yes, right, saw it too.
Maybe a year in London was too much for him. He sounds like he's forgotten how to speak Japanese. The logic of your argument is sound, at least. Well, as I said, it is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly. Perhaps it should have been your guiding principle to protect the victim flawlessly? That's just my personal opinion, of course. She went hard on her.
Hi, Mr. Turtle. Counsel, you will refrain from mocking the witness.
Oh no, I just have so many thoughts reeling around my head. It's all I can do to stand here, wide-eyed and mute, and I just realized that I may have... No.
Goodness, my dear, you really must try to calm down.
But how am I supposed to find an inconsistency in what these two gentlemen are saying? I don't see why either of them would have any reason to lie.
What you must remember, I think, is that the witness may inadvertently lie at times. For various reasons. A misunderstanding, a mistaken observation, a delusion, even...
A delusion?
Oh, yes, what's important is that we determine the truth. And there's only one sure way to do that.
Yes, with evidence, of course.
Yeah, and I know which one is a contradiction. Spoken like a true judicial assistant. During witness testimony, you can use to pick a piece of evidence to present for consideration. So you need to listen carefully to each statement and compare what's said to the details in the court record. If you find some conflicting information, that may be the inconsistency that you're looking for.
Yes, it's all about inconsistencies.
Once you've identified the witness statement that appears to conflict with a piece of evidence, present the evidence to the witnesses with and the way ahead of will present itself to you, I'm sure.
Yes! Alright then. I'll consider the details of all the evidence in the court record against each statement to find an inconsistency. I hope I'm up to the task.
Don't forget that you can have the witness repeat their statement as many times as you like. Everyone has to start at the beginning, remember, so those what-ifs are quite unforgivable. And besides, there's no one else to defend the poor girl.
You're right. I need to listen to the testimony again from the start.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This is a contradiction.
Objection!
I love every time that we have an objection.
With that accusatory cry that just welled up from the deep inside me, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-sama and Naruhado-sama have stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed.
Oh, this is her objection music, that's right.
What's the meaning of the medicine post, counsel?
I'd like the witness to clarify something for me.
Who? What? Where? When? How?
Not you, Soseki-san. This query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga.
At me?
In your statement just now.
Ooh.
You said that the victim was stabbed multiple times.
Yes, that's right. As I said when I entered the hall, the defendant was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand, like a murderous demon.
And yet, that cannot be.
What? Get to the point, please, counsel.
In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only. In other words, Inspector Hosanaga's testimony is clearly flawed.
And Saseki-san!
Me?
You claim to have seen Membami-san in the throes of stabbing the victim.
Yes, I did. Wildly.
But both you and the inspector confirmed the same point. That there was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding.
Yes, and?
It's quite simple. We know the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there's no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stabbing hadn't already occurred.
Then what exactly is your contention, Counsel? Are you ever going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. What Saseki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the defendant stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
That can't be!
That hurts.
Excellent work, Susato. You exploded at them without objection and then proceeded to pull them apart systematically.
Objection! Here we go! Well, this takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in the trial 9 months ago. A half-witted child with a half-baked objection, attempting to steal the show.
You're right. There were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who has only half a head of hair.
Slander! My head is quite adequately dressed.
It looks like a boob.
In any case, all this talk of stabbing and withdrawing and multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference.
What? Why not?
In case you're braced, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was at the moment just as she had withdrawn the blade ready for her next strike that the witness saw.
Well, I guess that makes sense. They mentioned having seen multiple strikes. But, I mean, yeah.
The knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim. All you have successfully shown with your little display is that the mustache author is prone to moments of extravagance.
I am in agreement with the prosecution. If the defendant was in wield on the blade at all, that is sufficient grounds for her actions to be viewed with suspicion.
But if she was withdrawing the blade...
Then we are back where we started.
Sorry?
Consider this, young jackal boy. If the student girl is innocent as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? And without demons called it blood with composure too. The prosecution demands an explanation, and it had better be good.
Why did Ray pull out the knife?
Ah, yes. Going for the jugular.
What does father mean by that?
Let the court hear your answer then, Counsel.
Hi Alexis, how you doing today? Yeah, Drake, sorry. The truth is I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here. Oh my god, that is adorable! Where did you get that one? I love this. You better teach me later how you make it so that the emoticons start popping up through the screen, because that actually looks adorable. And I actually would like to have those floating around and everything. But I have come up with a plausible reason here, or we don't have a case. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could save her life. According to post-mortem report, the victim's death was not instant.
That's correct. It thought she would have remained unconscious for a while after sustaining the injury.
Indeed. Giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
The point is,
Being a medical research assistant, Mami-san was compelled to act when faced with the wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Red's life. There's a contradiction here that is very, very doctor's wise. I wouldn't actually understand it normally, but I've been so much into this game that I finally get it.
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem this is the best we can expect of this young Jocko.
Indeed. Is it just me, or does it suddenly feel much colder in here? Your Excellency, if I may. Speak, witness. I would like another opportunity to testify in respect to the slipshod assertion that's just put forward by the Jocko Defense Council, I meant. Slipshod? What is slipshod? I don't think I've heard slipshod before. Oh, lack of care. Okay. I feel like somebody's gonna be made fun of. Ah, boy.
An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young Jekyll hopeful has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess no one iota of common sense.
She's a student of medicine. I seem to remember from the other... Yes, I do completely remember now. This is something that I didn't know when I started Ace Attorney. But something that I actually explained a lot is it that if you get stabbed, you better leave it in until you get help. Because otherwise, the knife is... Because right now, the knife is functioning as a block. So you take the knife out, you bleed out. And that is what he is going to explain. I'm very sure of this. You will testify before the courts on the subject of the Defense Council assertion. Yes, sir. I will do so flawlessly. Flawlessly. I need to find a voice for him that is different enough. Okay. Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge to any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor. What they're saying is, she's a medical assistant. Why would she remove the knife so carelessly? Is what you said true, Inspector? Could pulling a knife from a wound really cause the wound to bleed heavily? Yes. Think of the weapon itself as a stopper in the wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed. Oh, I see.
This is why Jonkels should stay on the phone. Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge. Anyone who's...
Wait. Oh my god, that's why nobody's speaking. Well, I don't know that if that's the only reason. Okay, how do I change that setting? Sorry about that. Disable emote only chat. Oh. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. I thought for the longest time that nobody wanted to talk about this. I mean, that still may be the case. But seeing Danteria and Adric's messages over here, it kinda makes me realize that I was only... oh my god, I'm a moron. This is embarrassing. Sorry. If you want to say something, I will not stop you anymore. Adric, you could have told me!
You are a mod, aren't you? Yes, you're a mod. Oh well. My mistake.
Anyone who's ever given someone a little poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it.
Well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see, or pulled about out of a wound, just so. No, it was totally an accident. No, it was very much of an accident. I'm actually quite embarrassed about that. Oh, there's actually I was looking for the actual. I didn't notice that there's a button in the mod view for that. It's unactivated, disable, perfect. There it is. Yeah. Sorry. Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit. Father, is it true what they are telling me? Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge for medics. Red will have been well aware of it. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal in many ways. But then, why would Ray have done it? Did she have pulled out a knife in full knowledge that it would be fatal for Miss Fred? I don't know. Ray never once mentioned anything about the knife to me. It seems almost impossible to believe, but... could my friend actually have...
Susato!
Yes?
Pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here. Counsel, it's time for your cross-examination.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify an issue with established facts, I will be moving to my adjudication immediately afterwards.
I understand. Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. I knew it would be hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard. Oops. I wonder if this is actually... it's staying quite a long time. Chat box and properties. Yeah. Okay. Oh my god, I live it forever over there. Oops. I think 30 seconds is enough. Ooh, close. Okay, let's keep on. Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's oh, right.
Hold it!
You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean that if you used due care and attention it would be alright?
I wouldn't have thought this needed spelling out, really, but... the blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You just can't do it.
Oh, well, thank you for such a thorough explanation.
You see, Counsel? When you're out without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
Back to the witness testimony, please.
That's basic knowledge for that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know.
Hold it!
In that case, there's an obvious explanation here.
Which is...
clearly, the defendant, Raymond Bamisan, does not possess an ounce of what the frick?
Oh my god, Susato, what? I'm not even gonna read that. What do you think about that, Professor Mikatova? I'm not sure that you should be labeling your best friend as lacking in common sense.
Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer.
I don't know, young people today. If that's French, I don't understand it.
Careful, Counsel. A lack of common sense can be a very dangerous thing.
Oh dear, that recalled me rather badly. Of course it did, you moron! That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn. Hopefully you can see now that this is really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research in Minbami-san would certainly have been aware of it. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody she knew lying on the ground, bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently. I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally. But irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it? Oh dear. You have a lot to learn about. I don't even know where to begin with this dude, or this girl, or anybody here. Only a small-minded man could have such bigoted Oh dear, perhaps I let my male persona take hold a little too much. Well, I have managed to convey the basics now. That should cover the medical side of the argument. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. Whatever the motive, it isn't just in Minbami-san's nature to do something so awful. But you have both motive and opportunity. That's very hard to argue against. But you don't know the defendant!
Objection! And you, counsel, do not appear to know the law.
Yes. Evidence is the only way to convince the court of your arguments, not feelings.
With this fletching to defend her, I would say I pity the accused.
So do I. This is hilariously dumb. Inspector, you will reiterate your points about the defendant's motive, please. Yes. This spread was in many ways a sore enemy of Minbami-san. The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Wilson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor. Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Wilson recognized Minbami-san's talent and offered her position of the assistant, despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him. Yes, the Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual. Dr. Wilson had no time for outdated traditions. He met the opposition, of course, but he firmly believed in Minbami-san's abilities. Clearly the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point. This is hopeless! I can't find a single crack in this testimony anywhere. If Ryu knew that what drawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further, I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it. Susato, it's a time like this when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals. The fundamentals? God, I'm speaking fast. Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it? Of course! But I've been through the court records dozens of times already. I think perhaps you're forgetting something though. You needn't take the evidence as face value. You can and must examine it in greater detail too. I realize this is your first time playing the role of lawyer in the courtroom. So if you need reminding of the rudiments, you need only ask. I'll do my very best to help. Examine the evidence of the courtroom. It's an idea, certainly. What should I do? Come to think of it, Kazuma-sama and Naruhara-san were always turning evidence over and over in their hands. Yes, I need to examine things in greater detail with A. By the look of your eyes, I see it's coming back to you. Go through the court record and case. Have a thorough look at everything. You may just find a clue. Yes, I'll do it straight away. Okay, so... let's see here. If we take off the pencil's lid, Now let's screw the barrel, shall we? This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink. Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib. Is something wrong, Feather? Just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all. Yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose. Okay, so not this. I was hoping that I could find something over here, but I didn't find anything. What about this? Rakus England returns tell all. This is an interview with you and Sasaki-san, is it, Father? That is a very good... It looks as though it was quite an exchange. Yes, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. That camera was broken? The photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me on the neck. I hope you weren't hurt. What about the other side? This is a newspaper from Sasaki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive! Deadly poison stolen from... Oh my god. Okay, thank you, Alexis. That is gonna help me helpful. Deadly poison stolen from Yumei Medical Research Laboratory. From Yumei's Medical Research. Father, isn't that your lab?
What? Let me see. The poison been stolen?
This is this morning paper from that Sasaki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as that is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. I've not heard any such thing. Where on earth could the reporter have leaked his information?
Come to think of it, there was no article mentioning the story in our paper this morning, was there?
It's a highly toxic poison we've been working on in the strictest confidence. I'd put Ray in charge of the project.
Ooh, what is this? Ray! She was managing it?
If what's written here is true, it means that she tried to hide the theft from me. And moreover, the details were leaked somehow.
BTTBMOs. The second one is for the chat. I'll be checking this after this stream because of course it's gonna make a detour in my mind. And I'm not very that good at maintaining all of the information while I'm streaming. I have been struggling today too much in trying to get this one. You can clearly tell that it's my first time streaming in quite a long time. I don't believe it.
We need to read this article very carefully.
Okay. Anything else? Anything else? No. Oh. Following a lecture at Yumei by Sasaki on the 11 it's come to light as matters in another place, a deadly poison being secretly stolen. In the small amount of the body will be perfect. Current methods cannot detect any life. Onset occurrence in areas, impaired pupil, and any with acute contraction of the pupils be prior to death. I just noticed something here. Pupil constriction was observed in the victim both eyes. They say that the cause of death is the stab wound, and death would have occurred later. But I'm not really sure anymore. Then we have this. This is hilariously funny because I never got to see her eyes. Why did she have this? What would be the contradiction here? This is actually the first time that I don't know what to do. In quite a while. A wound from a poison-laced blade? This is the only one that I would think to be the contradiction, because it's the only one that is saying something that is objective. There's only one thing that I can imagine. You can check.
Objection!
No, there is one possibility, and I was actually right. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wood. What?
The Jekyll not only has a poor grasp of the law, but it's also a poor loser. Tell us then, what possibility do you think you've identified?
It's here. In this newspaper article. This is such a huge jump in logic, but it's also the only one that I could imagine would make sense. An article about a deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory in Belgium. You may unit.
The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case.
It must be PTSD for him now I think about it.
But,
Prosecutor Archie, you will let the defense speak.
but on newspaper's article, the court cannot rely on this kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry.
Counsel for the defense. I am going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mention affirms your assertion.
Your Excellency!
Yes, of course. Thank you. We would never have done something to further endanger Miss Brest's life with a just cause. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says... I know which one it is, but I don't remember. Deadly in tiny quantities. There it is. The articles reveal the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters a body on a knife laced with poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes. Are you suggesting? If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the big defendant Membami-san would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body. Yes.
Objection!
We're back to poisons again.
This is complete and utter nonsense!
Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life, and the prosecution cannot deny that possibility.
Have you not read the postmortem report? The cause of death was hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document.
Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking a
Objection! Oh, please, this is clearly desperation! The whistle's last breaking of wind! The poison has nothing whatever to do with this case. I believe the defense is well aware. We have no proof that information in this wretched newspaper is at all reliable anyway.
In that situation, what the student should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potential lethal poison to remove... But the potentially lethal...
But instead you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the plate. She must have had a strong reason for her suspicions, or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly. Well put, Inspector. Oh, what crimes did she do in? Jokel?
Why did Ray suspect the stolen poison was involved? If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds. What?
Possibly.
From your expression, Counsel, it would appear those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be well aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. The court demands evidence. Yes, Your Excellency, I'm well aware of that. I've seen it many times, from my place at his side in the Old Bailey. Of course, she's talking about Naruto. In that case, Counsel, you will present the proof to the court. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article? Once again, the poison... Wait. There. The autopsy, the post-mortem report.
Take that!
I would ask the court to refer to the notes section of the post-mortem report. Extreme meiosis, pupil constriction, was observed in constriction, in the picture. Oh! Clearly, being a juggler with a knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea, so please do tell me. Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the post-mortem report means that it's an initial symptom of death?
Well...
Under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. If there was extreme constriction instead, that's unusual, yes.
What are you doing, you Jokel detective?
In the newspaper article, there's the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Hope you don't mind me. So, something that I like to do, and this is actually something that I'm gonna change for my camera for a moment. I have been liking a lot my air fryer thingy, so from time to time I just like doing some snacks, and I made some, I think they're wontons, for snacking during the case in case I got hungry, which, yeah, I am. I'm sorry that you had to, that I had to just get you hungry with this, but stickers, that's how you go? Yeah, exactly. With a little bit of sauce. Mmm. I love these things. You know, snacks are always good. I should look for my weight though. But it's been a while. And I have been streaming for a bit. So hunger wins. For now, let's go back to the game.
What?
If the defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely, yes, as a medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without a doubt. I just realized that we didn't see her eyes, ever, and her eyes are proof. Prosecutor Ouchie, I think you'll agree, this is very compelling evidence.
You? Jokel Stan and a professor!
I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
No!
Jojin Mikotoba. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny, or deny the veracity of the Defenses Council argument. You will tell the court the truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please. It pains me to have to admit it, but I'm afraid I don't know. You don't know? The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft. Do you mean to tell the court that the reports of this theft are unfounded? No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Listen to the bubbling academic. Unaware of the theft of secret state research from his own workplace until he is served off in the newspapers.
I take full responsibility for the incompetency of my supervision. What am I getting? Of course. Father.
A pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your own students, rather than allowing them on killing sprees.
That's totally unfounded. Ray. None of this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. It's so my fault. Ray.
Benbami-san, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated.
But it wasn't me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day.
What?
So you knew? I've been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Soseki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was.
Why didn't you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some toxin had somehow been taken. So, I decided to try to get it back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was. The thief? You don't mean... Yes, of course it was the tainted English woman.
Miss Giselle Breath?
That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Breath. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me, as if she knew she was untouchable.
Oh, it was just a report from the weather.
I know it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then, she suddenly got to her feet before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor. That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what had just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes they'd shrunk to tiny pinpoints.
I don't believe it. In other words, you realized that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison.
My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Breath's lips while I'd been with her. Which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body. On the blade of the knife in her back.
And the train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade.
Yes. If the amount that had entered her bloodstream was small enough, she might still have had a chance. That's what I hoped. Really? I'm sorry for staying silent all this time.
She shouldn't have. But she was scared. That kind of makes sense. Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked. However, I have duly noted the courage with which you confess in the end.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It's barely perceptible, but I think the balance has shifted a little here, in this courtroom now.
Objection! Your Excellency, do not be deceived. The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, Membami-san, if that is the case, perhaps you could explain how Miss Red came to be stabbed?
Well,
That's actually quite a good point.
You have no answer, because the truth is that you stabbed the victim motivated by revenge.
but you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you?
Oh, I have evidence, and it is very much conclusive.
What's the prosecution counsel up to now? It was Ripple hesitated for a moment there. I'm almost sure of it.
You will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Prosecutor Archie.
Perhaps some praises due, young Jokel student.
What?
I haven't said will be no need for me to submit this evidence. But you brought this in yourself.
Oh my god, that looks horrifying. Oh. Wait a minute. Yeah, sure. I just wanna see it. Same crack. Holy, that looks horrible.
Could a more damning shot exist? The cruelty in the air of the...
Which is almost palpable. This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the kid's murderous nature, for it shows the precise moment that Membami-san plunged her dagger into the victim's back.
No! That's not true, no! I don't believe it!
Well, I think because it was Meiji era. God damn it! Personal outfit. Let's just think that it was a very, very old-fashioned swimming clothes thingy. No, actually, no. This is not actually Renosuke. That is actually Susato disguised as a guy, because in the Meiji era they did not allow women to enter into the court unless they were the accused or a witness. So since Ryonosuke is in England, she was the only person that would jump to her defense. She had to disguise as a man, and now he's Ryutaro Naruhodo according to everybody else. She's Susato. She is the Maya of the game. Just much, much smarter. Counsel for the defense. Was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced my courtroom? Oh yeah, they actually make reference to the fact that she sounds like a woman instead of man. So that's the reason why I didn't change her voice to a man. Yeah.
Perhaps his voice has yet to break. Those chuckles are slow of mind and slow to mature.
Well, I know what you're thinking about, but seriously, Susato is definitely, well, she's less disruptive than Maya and more useful in some scenarios. In some scenarios, I love my Maya Faye, but she literally knows about law. She's a judicial assistant. I'll show you who's slow to mature. Careful now, Susato's starting to show her face here. There it is. It is often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here we have ample proof. court will accept this extremely cogent photographic print as evidence. My god! You're right, it looks like prints on clothing. Oh my god! I can't believe he had a photograph like that of his sleeve this entire time. It's such a stark image. I'm genuinely lost for words. Wait a minute! I don't understand! Those are not prisoner clothes! How did you... who took the photograph? Ray?
Objection! That's of no importance here. Step right to the bear attention.
Oh!
Objection!
That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death. The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony. Ah! Yeah, that makes sense. I will uphold the defense's demand. The prosecution here will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once.
Well, I'm afraid I can't do that.
Pardon?
You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by express post yesterday.
An anonymous picture?
But there was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the print is unknown.
Goodness. Are we to understand then, Counsel, that in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph... You didn't just say that. That in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph is the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believe it fit for submission as evidence of in the Supreme Court? When you first produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated for a brief moment. Because you knew that it wasn't completely reliable evidence, didn't you?
Silence, you joking, stuttering and blubbering professor!
Oops.
What matters is the blatant truth that this print so eloquently expresses.
But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound. Clearly, this is the moment that the knife was plunged into the victim's back, but...
The moment it was withdrawn? Don't waste its scarce time with your ramblings!
Indeed, with the knowledge of Hooper's print, we have no means of verifying the claim. And the scene it captures is without a doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court. If the defense is unable to shed any further evidence on the matter, I believe the conclusion is clear. Oh no! Susato, this is the time for you to fight back. If what you described so far is true... Did I just add the word back with... Wow, I really did. If what you described so far is true, then there can be no doubt. This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim. Yes! We just need to prove that somehow.
You'll have plenty of time to read your defeat in the slow train back to the provinces. And to rue the day you came up against Taketsuji Ouchi in a court of law.
Yes, this is Winston Payne. Can you take the connection of Ouchi and Payne? Yes. If I can determine who took this photograph, then the trial is going to come to an end. There must be a clue somewhere. There must be some way of working out who took it. Well, Counsel? Your Excellency, the burning question is who took that photograph, and the truth is that I have the answer. This isn't about whether I can or can't come up with the answer now. I simply have to. The identity of the person who took this dramatic photograph with print is, assure you, something the defense can and will reveal.
What? No! You can't possibly, but it's just so bold to claim that you can. Please, do enlighten us.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name.
How utterly underwhelming. You really believed you could...
However, I am able to present evidence. The defense has a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity.
What?
So we're catching a guy with copyright of pictures.
Very well, counsel. Present your proof to the court.
Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something about the identity of the mysterious photographer? The article.
Take that!
What is that? The newspaper again?
Racco's England attorney stamped them all. It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph. I like how I discovered that one. If you look at it closely, you'll notice that there are some white lines on the right-hand side.
Ah, yes, indeed. They had already caught my eye as it happens.
One of it a shadow of some kind, presumably from the branches of a tree or the like.
There are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you.
Now, if you look closely at this photograph, it's a crack. It's clearly a crack in the camera.
Good gracious.
Yes, exactly the same pattern of lines is present on this photograph too.
Well, that tells us nothing. Yes, it's a shadow of some kind, evidently from the branches of a tree.
There wouldn't be any throats growing inside a hut in the Peach Council. Well, not exactly, but it's just the fact that they're absolutely... Thank you, Judge.
What's quite remarkable about it is that the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired?
The curious matching patterns that appears on both photograph prints is a result of a camera's defect. Obviously, I wasn't going to say a crack in the camera. It must be due to a problem to the camera used to take the photographs.
Wait, the photographic device?
Yes, I can confidently say that the camera's lens must be scratched. And that the scratched lens causes unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device.
In short, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera.
But there must be hundreds of cameras such devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one.
I mean, it's easy. They had an interview with the guy.
Objection!
I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Ouchie, that one of the photographs featured in the newspaper article...
A newspaper? Oh my god!
That's right. The author of that article is the mystery witness to this crime.
What?
Many Memo!
Many Memo. Many Memo. Yeah, I read it correctly.
Well, I see why you were called a Racco's English returnee.
What are you yelling about? You've already testified.
It's Many Memo, I tell you! Many Memo! Memo!
Suseki-san, what was that? Did you say Many Memo?
Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoujo News has been hounding me, following my every move. A reporter by the name of Raiten Many Memo.
Remember. Raiten Many Memo. RM. Shingo Taro! Hi Chichon, how you doing today? Oh my god, that is a hilarious way of saying. Writing Many Memo. Oh my god! Writing Many Memo. Oh my god. Are you kidding me, Danteri? That's the pun! Oh my god!
Ah, now that he mentions it.
It's the guy in the back, isn't it? Wait. What is that? There was a way, right? Yeah, there is a way. Okay, so... Wait, this button? Yeah, what is that? They are much better than some of the other ones. I did not expect to see that. Then, you remember the Sets game? Or have you ever played the Sets game? You know, with Mr. Patrol, who patrols? But seriously, writing many memo. Oh my god, that is chef's kiss. The Secret of Spy snapshots skill, sorry. Could that same reporter be?
A camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. There I am, stuck in the middle with Grade 10 mini memo.
Writing many memo. Oh my god, that's horribly bad. So you're saying that this picture was taken by
Many Memo! Yes, my lord, your excellency, Squire!
that was hilariously good. You know, I really want to know what is Remembani, but I'm pretty sure Remember. Oh my god. There's something over there. I'm gonna find it.
Officer, find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. We will adjourn for a short recess in the meantime.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
As you said, your excellency. And one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for traces of poison. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University Medical Department for this attack, understood? Many Memo!
It just sounds hilarious. If it's a spoiler, maybe not. But I really would like the pun. Okay. Many Memo. Remember me. Yeah, it makes sense. Remember me. Of course, because she was not in the original game. Oh, that makes so much sense. Remember the best friend?
I'm so sorry, Susato. I should have told you about the toxin.
Ray. You have a strong sense of responsibility, I know. That's why you decided to shoulder the burden alone.
No, that's not at all. I was scared of my failure coming to light, that's all. So I had to retrieve the substance from the English woman before anyone found out. Before the trial started, do you remember what you said, Susato? That you had no doubt in your mind about my innocence. That you stand by me to the last. I remember. And yet I didn't deserve your trust in me. I had important details from you, Susato. I completely betrayed your faith in me. Hit me, Susato. I deserve it. No, in fact, throw me to the floor. No, that's too good for me as well. Drag me through the excited streets.
Ray really is finding out a part of her that she didn't know.
I'm no better, you know.
my heart I knew that you'd pull the knife blade from Miss Brett's back, there was just a brief moment when, in my mind, I doubted you. Susato! I'm sorry after I stood here and promised you that I'd stand by you and always be on your side. I betrayed your faith in me too. And as such, I failed you as a lawyer. Lesson from Phoenix Wright 5. What is complete trust without doubt? Okay. Oh, no.
I think the situation has taught both of you a valuable lesson. Placing your unbridled faith in another is no easy task.
Yes, Father. That fact has certainly struck home. Which is why I can see you more... which is why I can see more clearly now. Saray! Yes? Can you find it in your heart to forgive me?
Aww, she's adorable.
Oh, Susato. You know you'll always be a gallant lawyer in my eyes now.
She is discovering... Oh my god. Yeah, I made that joke 3 or 4 times already.
Oh, Ray. I was scared, you know. When it happened, I didn't know what was going on. That English woman was sitting at the back of the hut, listening to what I was saying. I know it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then a moment later, she suddenly got to her feet before collapsing on the floor in front of me with a knife in her back. It all happened right before my eyes. And you were the only people in the hut at the time? That's right. Just Miss Brett and myself. There was no one else. So I just don't understand how she could possibly have been stabbed like that.
A great mystery indeed.
I still can't believe it happened. That's why, guys, I couldn't bring myself to speak up.
Actually, kinda makes sense to me.
This hut is made of these thingies. A camera shot was able to go through this. And back then, lenses were big. I'm pretty sure that this hole in itself is already big enough to put a knife through it. So, I imagine this. You stab the victim through that hole, move so that they don't see you, and when you want to take the picture, you do it. I'm pretty sure that this was made by Manny Memo. Oh my god. However it happened, and whatever really went on by the sea that day, I promise you that I'm going to prove everything you said you saw is true.
Spoken like a true Mikotoba. Now, I think we should discuss what's coming up in the trial, don't you? We don't have much time. We must make sure we have our facts in order.
Yes, I expect the poison is going to come under close scrutiny in the coming proceedings. The police should hopefully have identified it on the blade by now. The trouble is, it's a completely new laboratory synthesized glyndaphyl alkaloids. Oops. The police won't have any way of testing for it. Oh, I see.
Yes. Without this chemical reagent, it's impossible to detect the toxin.
Chemical reagent?
I sent a colleague of mine off with some earlier to deliver to police headquarters. I think perhaps you should have some as well, though, just in case. We're gonna apply this into something, aren't we? We're gonna apply it on this. There.
The label appears to be written in a foreign language that I don't know.
It's German, so your knowledge of English is going to be of little help here, I'm afraid.
Couldn't you just have written medicine on it on Japanese? Then we'd all be able to read it.
German is international law one of medicine, my dear.
It is?
Yeah, this is spam, isn't it? So, how do I delete this?
There was a button for that. There it is. There it is. I found how to delete bot messages. But yes, I can certainly see the merit of Lagoon in bottle in Japanese. Though I'm not sure medicine would be entirely appropriate. I mean, it is not medicine after all. Okay. What's the matter, Susato? You're suddenly very quiet.
It's this newspaper article. Exclusive, deadly poison stolen from the Medical Research Laboratory. I'm wondering how the information got out, given that it was a government secret. It was all the English woman's doing.
What?
It was when the professor and Soseki-san were being interviewed at the laboratory. That so-called English lady stormed in and without any compunction said to Professor Mikatova, "Oh, Professor, surely you would love to hear about your work on that substance, dear."
Put me in a very awkward position, to be frank. But Soseki-san's curiosity had been piqued, so I had little choice but to give him a cursory introduction.
So then Soseki-san knew about the poison.
Oh my god. Well, he's not gonna be the guilty party, considering that he's based on a real person. Yes, and it's highly... what? Okay. It's highly likely that the reporter who was writing up the story about us would have caught a glimpse of the toxin too.
This Minimemo-san.
God. I'm not going to forget his name anymore. Thank you, Dentere. I am never forgetting that name anymore.
By the way, did the reporter join you all when you went to the beach? Oh, no, I don't remember the reporter being there.
Indeed, he shouldn't have been. I very much doubt anyone would have wanted him there.
Oh?
A known criminal had been given permission by the authorities to bathe by the seaside. Soseki-san pointed out that inviting a reporter might be problematic, so the man was sent back to his office.
Yet he obviously didn't go back. He secretly followed the party to the beach and took this very candid photograph. Paparazzi much? And then presumably, he posted it anonymously to the police.
Yes. That must be what happened.
I wonder if paparazzis were a term or something back in the Meiji era.
Counsel! I've just heard that the new witness is now ready to testify. The trial is about to resume. Please proceed to the courtroom at once. Okay, officer. It's time to steel ourselves once against them. Defense attorney Ryotaro Naruhara.
Yes! Ray has put her faith in me now, and told me everything. So I can't let her down. I have to prove that what she's telling the court is true. I have to prove that really happened that day.
I hereby call this court to order as we reconvene to continue the trial of Raymond Bunny. Prosecutor Auchi, remember me. Remember me. Oh my god. Prosecutor Auchi, have you summoned a new witness?
Before I address that question, Your Excellency, I have some very important news to share.
He's happy. Why? Oh?
What news? And why does he look so happy about it?
During the recess with the collaboration of Professor Mikatoma's laboratory at Jumei University, the police examined the knife that was used to end Miss Giselle Spread's life.
Excellent.
I admire your rapid handling of the matter.
Oh, too kind, Your Excellency, too kind. I was merely carrying out your instructions, of course.
I had the reagent delivered to police headquarters by rickshaw so it would be there in good time. But judging by the immense swagger, I fear we might need to brace ourselves for the inevitable.
And, Council, what were the results?
This dagger, which was so cruelly used to end the life of the victim, has no trace of poison anywhere along its blade.
It's gonna be in the pen.
What? Are you sure about that?
I would stake the reputation of the police on it.
Armed with the reagent, the test is extremely simple. They couldn't have made a mistake. In short,
The accused people excused earlier,
I went to check the knife. I really like checking this stuff. Ugh, such much blood.
Oh dear, blood is never a pretty sight, is it? How to fight the urge to run it under a hot tub and get it clean?
You've always been fastidious about cleanliness, haven't you?
I think this is something else, Father.
Nothing important. Also, I don't think that it should be a good idea to just point the knife at myself, but it's a game.
has been utterly destroyed.
Ah, of course.
Now the prosecution is ready to call the new witness.
Ah, the newspaper reporter who managed to capture the photograph of the crucial moment. Good. Very well, officer. Bring in the witness.
No trace of poison on the knife? But if that's really the case, how could the toxin have entered the victim's body?
This one is a bit more obvious than the other one. And also, really, wow! I noticed the blood of ink on his hand.
Witness, please state your name and occupation for the court.
This character reminds me of... Oh my god, what was the name of that boxing manga? No, not Hajime no Ippo. One older than that one. The one where... I don't want to spoil people. But yeah, this is the one with the boxer that is tired at the end. And I'm just gonna leave it like that. If you know, you know. And now, for a voice for this guy. Well, he looks hyper, so... Write a minimum of the shoujo news in what people like to call a journal.
What's a journal, Father? Do you know?
It's a simple contraction of journalist. I'm there where the news break, putting pen to paper to catch those scoops so they're in print the next morning. They don't call me the hero of the Herald for nothing, the nice guys of news.
Oh, so, it was you who took this photograph, was it?
Well, well, what have we here?
I'm sorry?
Oh, brace yourself, people! Many memo sends us a scoop in the offing. Female student up to foul play defended by curiously handsome young lawyer in Supreme Court. The riddles will lap this up. We'll set it about the fall of... That's... Oh my god, he's actually making me dizzy because I'm trying to read. The riddles will lap this up. We'll set it above the fold at 72 point in a 5-leg format for the morning edition. Oh, that's actually a type of... Yeah, I know this.
Huh?
Right then, let's start with your name.
Oh, it's Ryutaro Naruhodo.
Next, what made you want to become a lawyer?
Well, I wanted to reform our country's legal system, I suppose.
Ryutaro Hosono becomes very ambitious, I see.
I just borrowed Kazuma-sama's dream for a while.
By the way, my name is Taketsuchi Aochi. That's Taketsuchi Aochi. The so-called Dark Horse of the Supreme Court. My objections strike fear into every defense lawyer's heart.
No, the readers won't buy that.
What? Witness.
Yes?
What the score they must know is whether or not you were responsible for the taking of this picture. It was delivered anonymously through the Imperial Police Bureau only yesterday.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a journal if I didn't click quick. If I didn't click quick when you presented with a scoop like that, now would I? Sometimes stories call out to me. Sometimes I have to chase them down. But you know, surprisingly, this voice is very hard to make.
There it is.
Sometimes I have to chase them down, but either way, you've got to be the fast. Fast legs to run with, and a fast hand to ride with. It's no good if you don't know the down, as I always say. That's what I call my many memoism.
Many noise. Oh my god, it's... Thank you, Dentere. That actually is making much easier to pronounce this thing. Yes, I remembered your face. We met at night when you were invited, interviewing myself on Suseki-san.
Yes, right. That was me. Many memo again.
But you were supposed to be going back to the Shoujo News offices after our meeting.
But the scoop is, I didn't. Because that English woman's words had piqued my journalistic interests.
Miss Bretworth?
A criminal left to do as she pleases just because she happens to be a British citizen? It's horse tongue! This country's judiciary is rotten to the core!
He is right.
The Supreme Court's rulings aren't worth the paper they're writing on. The police are just imperial pawns!
State your tongue, young man. There are complex political issues at place.
Well, anyway, I quickly jotted down those words she said in my many memo pad. Oh my god, I hate this. Are you ready? I'll read it out. It's all here. Right here goes. I shouldn't like to go with everyone to see.
I should like to go with everyone to see your country's code.
A serious criminal going on some junket. The people need to know about this. That's why I decided to sneak after them. To get the woman's story, so I could hammer her in the press.
Do you mean to say that you did indeed witness it firsthand? The green scene portrays in this photograph.
Oh yes, I saw it with my very own journal eyes. From start to finish, through the viewfinder of my trusty camera!
Thank you, Menememo-san. You will now give a formal testimony before the court. You will state exactly what it is that you witnessed of the events surrounding Miss Brett's death.
He is very annoying!
But he actually is correct on this one. I don't think that Miss Brett should have been allowed to do all of this.
The beach hood was made of shuttery old red screens, so there are plenty of gaps I could see inside through.
That's what I mean.
The English woman was sitting on a stool when the studying girl came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journal spirit burns into flame. Quick as a flash, I wheel my camera ready to click. I pulled apart the rough whip of one of the screens and plugged the lens through that for the perfect shot.
Read screens, you say?
Right, you can see them clearly enough in that great shot I snapped. The hot wall works as a screen made of coarsely woven grids.
Yeah, makes sense. Yes, it allows the breeze to pass through and brings some relief from the summer heat.
And it was a breeze for me to plug my camera through and see the whole thing cutting up.
Ignoring for the time being the poly invasion of privacy, but oh my god! Took me a moment to realize that the girls were changing. This is a 13-8-year-old looking into the changing room of a 25 and 16-year-old girls. Did you witness everything that happened from the moment the defendant entered the hut? Oh yes, I saw it. I saw the whole thing from start to finish. And you say that you took the photograph through a gap in one of the screens? Luckily for me, they were pretty shootily women. I pulled the reeds apart and thrust the lens of my camera through the gap. Would I get away with it, or would I be seen? It was a gamble of a lifetime.
At United of purpose that's considered admirable in a journalist, I suppose.
Run a risk one day, run a scoop the next. That's minimalism in a nutshell. At last. It would appear we have a genuine witness to this wicked crime. The evidence and testimony are extremely compelling. I believe we may be close to a verdict.
No! Wonderful news, Your Excellency, wonderful!
Nevertheless, it cannot be denied. This testimony begs one very large question.
What question?
Exclusive news, a startling photograph, all the makings of an exceptional story for the reporter. Why then was the story never published?
That's right!
It seems clear to me that there are circumstances at play here that are yet to be understood.
Heh, more pathetic excuses!
Very well then. Counsel, proceed with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Excellency. There's more to this reporter than meets the eye. He's keeping something about this case very close to his chest.
Hold it!
What made you want to see what was happening inside the beach hut in the first place?
Call it journal instinct. Can you think of a better reason?
Oh, I don't know. Perhaps because as well as being a proven criminal, the person inside was a young woman.
That's what I said. Ah, I see where you're going with this. Brace yourself, people. He's painted the journal as a voyeur.
It's hardly slander, sir. You had a camera and you were taking pictures without the woman's knowledge.
My God, this is worse and worse. Nope, you got it all wrong, little student boy.
Sorry?
To my mind, all that was inside that hut was a scoop. Nothing more, nothing less. Scoops know no gender. Man or woman, it's all news. That's not even minimalism. It's basic journalism.
If only the cardamom was as indiscriminate.
Right, so if it's all buttoned up, can we move on? Tell the court then, great witness, what sight befell your eyes when you looked inside the hut. A sight that vindicated my pure instinct, that's what. When I pulled back the reeds, I could see it all as clear as day. God, he sounds like a pervert. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student came and arguing with her. Okay, that's it.
So you actually saw Membami.
Oh, that's the reason why I was having trouble, because it's Membami, not Membani. Remember me.
Entering the hut?
Yup, and she was raging. Raging like my journal spirit.
And the argument you mentioned, what was that about exactly?
You stole it! I didn't steal it. That kind of thing.
Talking about the poison, I suppose.
The student girl walked right up to the English woman and really started laying into her. I mean, if she'd laid into her anymore, there would have been eggs. Oh, God. The man should have been an author. His script talents are wasted on journalism. But the student's rantings fell on deaf ears, like a Japanese person listening to English for the first time.
He really had to work on his simile stuff first off, to be honest.
Anyway, the point is that woman in the dock was mightily angry.
Her temper finally got the better of her, it seems. Dear me.
Which was the climatic moment that I caught on film.
Seconds later, the girl pulled out a knife, throwing the English woman to the floor as she stabbed her in the back. My smoldering journal spirit burst into flames. With a flash, I whipped out my camera, ready to click. I pulled apart the rough wave of one of the screens. I'm just gonna check something. Okay, so it's still recording. And poke the lens through for the perfect shot. Oops. He claims to have spanned the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is read. What am I doing? I should be reading this. There it is.
Hold it!
Did you swear before this court that you actually saw the precise moment when the stabbing took place?
Huh! The precise moment? I didn't see just that. I saw the whole hellish scene play out from start to finish.
I have here a simple plan of the beach hut. Perhaps you could see as it explain to the court exactly what you witness.
Right you are! It's all here in my memo pad. When I first peered into the hut, I'm sure that the English woman there was on this stool at the back of the hut here.
Yes, the accused's own testimony confirmed that.
Of course. She just sat at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly, is what I have noted down.
It's my turn to testify now, try not to interrupt. Then, the next moment, as I was watching, the evil student girl entered the hut. After a while, the pair of them ended up in the middle of the hut, arguing furiously. The English woman went for the student, but the girl dodged out of her way, and in a flash, plunged the knife into her adversary back as the two passed each other. What you describe is a grim crime indeed. Never sugarcoat the truth. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it! That's what Many-moism says.
Many-memoism, there it is.
Many-memoism says.
By the way, Many-memo-san, just gonna check it fast. Whilst you were watching that terrible scene unfold before your eyes through the gap in the screen, did it not occur to you to try to prevent the tragedy rather than capturing on film?
Journalists have to be observers. We can get involved. That's a raison d'etre.
Sounds like bullshit to me. So you didn't converse with Miss Brett at all?
Obviously not. An observer's always remains on the outside looking in.
And that's something to be proud of, is it?
Your Excellency, if I may. Yes, Professor. I think the witness last expertly phrased a statement should be perhaps be added to his formal testimony.
Father? What are you?
I will grant the defense's request. Many-memo-san, you will supplement your formal testimony with a affirmation statement. Well, nihilism is the foundation of many-memoism, but I'll gladly prove that my words are meaningless. I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the English woman. I was there only as an observer.
But I think that's... There.
Hold it!
I didn't click this one. And I think I found the contradiction already. He never got in. The pen is his.
Descartes is fully aware of your desire to capture the incident on film, sure. But why then would you just choose to post the photograph anonymously to the police?
I'm afraid I don't understand a word that's coming out of your mouth.
I'm asking why, as a journalist, you decided not to make a story out of the incident.
Think of me as a sculpture. A sculpture who makes art out of the sordid private details of people's lives. But I never discuss my own personal life on principle. I mean, that's basic many-memoism.
It's not something to boast about.
No doubt your burning desire to see the truth exposed and justice done was what motivated you.
That's it! That's brilliant! My burning desire or something or other, I suppose.
There has to be a good reason why he didn't think to write an article about what he saw, though.
Maybe he just wanted to get Raid. By your own admission, you were outside the hut. How then did you manage to take the photograph?
Ah, yes, that. I'm glad you asked.
I pulled apart the rough waves, blah blah blah.
But the two women inside didn't notice.
Huh, obviously not. If they had, where would I be there now? In jail, that's where.
So yeah, he knows that he is acting like a freaking pervert. He knows this.
Which you think would make you reflect on what you were doing?
No, a journalist's job is to collect little snippets of life as unobtrusively as possible. Leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but photos. Yes, that's spot on.
Did he just make that up?
The point is, the witness risked life and limb to obtain this photograph. And this photograph reveals the whole truth. There is nothing more to be said.
I never once set foot in the hut, nor spoke with the newswoman I was turning there as an observer.
That's a lie.
Really? You didn't set foot inside the hut at all? Are you quite sure about that?
I think you may have the wrong impression of me. We're talking about a murder scene here. My nerves were stretched to breaking point already.
Oh, I see. You were scared? Maybe I didn't have the right impression of you, yes.
It was all I could do to stifle a scream and hold my hand steady enough to snap the shot.
You really shouldn't have summoned the help before thinking of your camera.
Many memoism and humanism don't always agree. And most of the time in those instances, many memoism comes out on top.
I'm also tired of this moron.
As a sculptor of stories, sometimes I have to be cruel for my art. Yes, that's spot on.
Surely he's making all this up.
He claims to have spied the whole affair from start to finish. If true, his testimony is devastating.
But it does seem as though he's holding something back, doesn't it?
If that's how you feel, I suggest that you trust your instinct and press him on everything he said. As you've no doubt seen him done many times before in your role as judicial assistant.
Yes, I have. I've seen witnesses like this pressed often. I know exactly what to do.
6.
It's kinda weird that I put it at the end.
Objection!
Wait, what?
The witness's statement is definitely contradicted by the piece of evidence.
Is that so, counsel? Then perhaps you would care to explain to the court precisely how?
How? Well, definitely.
The contradiction lies in your apparent eagerness to present an empty argument, I feel.
God damn it. My first injury. Perhaps I need to reconsider. It's here, but how?
Picture instead of a pen?
Objection!
No, it's not! I must suggest to the witness's last statement. This was to prove your point. I apologize. I presented it rather more forcefully than I intended to. You will kindly refrain from this overly at several outpost, counsel, be it verbal or material. You really put me in my place there.
He spoke with her, but
He was there. How do I prove this?
Hold it! Hold it!
There's a mistake somewhere.
Hold it!
I am kinda stuck here. He didn't set food inside. Maybe that's true.
Hold it!
Oh, oops. No, that was not what I wanted to say. I'm stuck! Let me see my card record. Okay. So, what can I use here to prove that the guy actually was inside? The knife didn't have the poison. I'm pretty sure that it's in the... Can he even watch everything from that position? I wonder if the beach hut plan actually is working here.
Objection!
It's not this? I don't want to lose in my first case in this game.
Objection!
Oh my god, no, it's not this. My god, I feel like I'm being infinited by Doom.
Hold it!
Okay. So according to his saying this, he could see her on the stool in the back. The next moment, as he was watching, she entered the hut. The pair ended in the middle of the hut. And she killed her from behind. It's not the picture. It's not the pen. It's not the picture again. It's not the knife.
Objection!
Oh my god, I lost. He got me. I was... Oh my god. I lost in case 1. That is so embarrassing. Yeah, return from the scene. I know, Chicho, I know, but I really cannot find the contradiction. I'm stuck. Very stuck. Made of shoddy all red screens, so there were plenty of gaps I could see inside through. The English woman was sitting on a stool when the student came in and started arguing with her. Seconds later, she pulled a knife. I need to press this to reveal the final phrase. And he explains everything. Le dicen el Manny. Es obvio que es guilty, Chicho. Es completamente obvio que es un jalachín. Y luego... Aquí es donde está la pista. Mikotaha pide que se lo agreguen al testimonio. Lo agrega. Sí, that's true. He looks like Kamoshida. He says that he won't enter because it's a murder scene, and how he doesn't care about humanities. Maybe we should just press other phrases, like I have new information on that.
Hold it!
What made you think that was happening inside in the first place? Journal instinct? Oh, I don't know. She was a young woman. He's painting as a voyeur, hardly slender. You got it all wrong. A scoop, nothing more, nothing less. No gender, it's just journalism. He pulled the reeds. She was sitting on a stool. So you actually saw this. She was raging. They were very angry. You stole it, I didn't. Taking out the poison. Everyone's going to line into her. Line into her anymore, there will be an X. Journalism, deaf ears. Anyway, the point is, she was angry. It was the climatic moment. Pull the knife. Throwing the glitch woman to the floor, she stabbed her in the back.
Hold it!
He pulled the camera. He doesn't discuss anything. Did I check everything yet? I already checked the murder weapon. Incriminating picture. Poison. This thing, I'm absolutely sure it's his. Are you kidding me? Could it be that I just didn't check this? The animation are very clearly engraved here. The fact that Miss Brett was claiming to be spending her dying moment is very clearly messaged to. To identify her killer, you mean? I don't think there can be any doubt that this is a key piece of evidence in this case. But it didn't update it, so now what? Oh wait! Maybe it's because I can see his... Can I check this? And the sheer fact that he has... What is this? Wait a minute. Okay, so nowhere over here shows that, but I am wondering why do I have... What is this? There's some sort of emblem here. Look! But it isn't a Jama University one. Oh my god. It must belong to some other organization, I suppose. A business of some kind. But that would seem to imply that the pen doesn't in fact belong to Ray. Oh my god! The pen does not belong to Ray, and it has the initial for Rayton Minimum. That's the... I had to update the pen, of course. So when I presented it, I was correct, but not completely. Okay.
Objection!
Now it's clear.
Minimum-san, until now I've had a firm belief that newspapers are in the business of uncovering and publishing the truth.
You're on spot there. The press doesn't lie, which is why I'm proud to wear the emblem of the Shoyu News on my... Oh my god. Somebody kill me right now. It was right there. Like, right there.
a way, that's more many Memo-san.
Sadly, though, it seems the journalists who write for those papers don't always share the same passion for the truth.
What are you suggesting with those recriminated wars, Council?
Memo-san, do you recognize this fountain pen? This pen was found at the scene of Miss Brett's death. In fact, the murder victim was gripping it in her hand as she died.
What are you?
If you look at the barrel of the pen, you'll notice that its owner initials are engraved there. RM.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Council. The initials of the accused Raymond Bammy.
Is it a coincidence, I wonder? That your initials are also RM?
No!
Rayton Memo. RM.
That's Horstone!
Can't you see? One of the central planets of...
Oh, right. I was actually making a...
Yes, that is one of the settlements of many Memoism is being a pencil user.
And yeah, as the core will clearly be able to see, on your right hand, is there a very obvious blue ink stain.
It would appear that you have rather carelessly left it somewhere recently. Your favorite fountain pen, that is. Horsey Hard Song!
Memo-san, is it not the case that before she died, you met with Giselle Brett on that beach hut?
Why should we listen to this absurd nonsense?
Oh, that's the reason I was confused.
It's nothing but another excuse.
Exactly! Shoujo News will stand behind me all the way. I deny everything. There must be as many people with initials around as there are stars in the night sky.
The defense has neither the time nor the inclination to count every star in the sky.
Hmm?
And there's no need anyway, because this page has more to tell. Yes, there is another clue. A clue that undeniably proves who its owner really is.
In that case, Council, the defense will now show the court where this alleged clue lies. I have to look at it twice.
Of course, Your Excellency. The clue on this fountain pen that clearly reveals its owner's identity is... As well as the initials, there is also an emblem on this fountain pen. An emblem that you will, of course, recognize. Memo-san.
Goodness me! It's the emblem of the Shoujo News!
In other words, the owner of this pen is an employee of the Shoujo News whose initials are RM. Suddenly, the stars in the night sky don't seem so numerous, do they? Well, Memo-san, how did you respond?
No! Order, order! Explain yourself, witness!
There's also something I need to know. Okay. So I wanted to check if this case still had a lot more going. I don't exactly know how long it is, but it's starting to get longer, and I do need to go out for a moment. So I think that the best plan of action for today would be to stop it after whatever comes next and continue later.
So this is how the mighty Supreme Court works, is it? Using coercive tactics to have well-meaning citizens reveal harmless secrets.
I've used nothing but honest tactics.
Alright then, fine! I won't try to hide it anymore. Yes, not long before that green tragedy unfolded, I, as Shoujo News reporter on behalf of the public, conducted an interview with the English woman.
An interview?
You never mentioned this before.
When exactly was this?
As I said, it was before that evil little student girl showed her face in the hut. I could have lasted more than 2 or 3 minutes, that's all. It was just a brief exchange. But it came to nothing, and as we many memoists say, the people don't pay their duties for unworthy news. However insignificant you seem to be, the score cannot overlook the meeting between yourself and the victim. You will testify now under oath about the precise nature of this meeting and what transpired. Got it. Yes, alright, but one condition.
Condition?
In all good conscience, I couldn't speak out alone about this. You need to call back the earlier witness, Soseki Natsume-san.
Soseki-san?
Oh yes, according to my notes here, that man has a secret of his own. And brace yourself. It's because it's not a harmless one, it's big.
What?
What? What?
Many memoirs states that one man's secret is every other man's front page story.
Very well, I will run the witness request in this instance. Officer, summon the earlier witness back to the stand.
Soseki-san hiding something? Here is where I'm stopping it. Oh, okay, here. Hey, Marco, how you doing? You got me pretty much at the end of this stream today. I had to travel today, so I will not be here anymore for now. I just saved the game. I already saved the game. It's okay. But for now, I really need to take, I'm gonna change to the facing camera. There it is. I will be seeing you guys at another time. For today, I have to go to El Paso to pick up someone from the airport. And I will see you maybe tomorrow as soon as I have the chance. I think that it would not be a bad idea to set up a raid. Let me I know that it's only like 2 or 3 people here, but I still like to do it. Let's see. I will be sending you guys to... Oh my god, Javis is still playing? That's perfect. Do I have someone else in this kit? Yeah, I'm gonna be sending it to Javi. I heart justice. I mean, it's not that many people, but if you can say hi to Javi for me, I'm okay with that.